Hey guys, this is Josh Shoemaker and Dan Keenan here for the latest addition to the Roto Grip line. It's going to be for the Gremlin Tour X. So, Gremlin was a piece that came out last year. A ton of guys were a huge fan of it. Super clean cover, pretty strong, high flaring core. So it was great when guys needed to get left and shape of the lane. The Gremlin Tour, they ended up tweaking the core a little bit. So this is now the Rondura Tour X core. So we'll go over the numbers in a second, but it actually cut the diff down substantially as well as the intermediate. So it's going to be a lot lower flaring, more stable of a core. They wrapped it in the VR1 hybrid, and it's finished at 4,000 grit. So the core specs for this is 248 for the RG, 034 for the differential, and then 011 for the intermediate. So kind of along those lines of the Ion Pro hybrid and solid. It says mildly asymmetric pieces, which have been a big fan for a lot of the tour guys, as well as a lot of no-thumb guys. When you can't drill the thumb in them, it's easier to get the ball to be a little stable when you have a little bit of an intermediate pre-drilling for the core too. So we're on definitely a pretty beat-up lane here, so I'm starting about 7 or 8 left of where I started on the fresh last week when I was throwing this. But it'll give you a real-world look of kind of just what we got out there, and we'll go with it. It's a lot of hook, right? A lot of hook in the middle.
They're
definitely crispy.
Definitely crispy today. Joking with Josh, this is where the for me especially is where the original Gremlin would roll really well. At this point when they're like this, I messed up. I actually grabbed the wrong bag today. I meant to bring a Gremlin and the Ion Pro Solid, and I don't know why I grabbed the wrong bag, but I did. So later on, we'll compare this to the Two Dynamics because, in my mind, that's more the replacement. Right. So I just took these out of the shop a few minutes ago, so I have not thrown it yet. It's never good in a video if I'm left.
So I had a little chance to throw this as well as the Ion Max Pearl last week in League. So I do have a little bit of lane shine, about 2 games worth of lane shine on this Gremlin Tour. I was telling Dan too right off the bat, I think for kind of my middle of the bag ball for nationals, I'm between this and the Ion Pro Solid for one of the middle spots of the bag. And I think this is a very strong candidate for that because of how controllable I've seen it's been. So I'm gonna go ahead and just move one and one here off that last shot. Oh man! Wow! Got all of that one and that one. No problem hooking.
So usually here, the middle is really tight. Not really tight today.
No, not at all. Usually that long left miss is 2-8-10 here.
Oh boy. All right, I got a little hold there.
Say, Dan didn't strike in practice, and all I did was strike, and now we switched spots. But you can see, I mean, with the one there, I mean, like we said, the middle part of the lane is hooking a ton right now, and he got that kind of right in the bulk of the friction, and it had just kind of laid there and was nice and controllable. I'm going to go to the same spot and just try to get this one off my hand a little better. I think I just grabbed the last one for all it's worth. So. That one shot through it a little bit.
It's pretty smooth coming around the corner.
It is, yeah.
Not
It
jerky.
definitely doesn't feel like it's super quick. Feels like one of those balls where whatever you do with your hand at the bottom, that's kind of going to follow that.
Yep. So kind of what I've been, obviously with the tournament series coming out, my thought on this was this would be probably my solid benchmark. So first ball out of the bag, so I can kind of feel what the lanes are doing. So far, a couple shots in, it's kind of what I feel, even though they're hooking. I was right a little early. All right.
There's that friction.
There's a lot.
Yeah, I think this, like Dan was saying, this is definitely a great addition to the tournament series. I've really enjoyed drilling this in the Iron Max Pro over the last two of the tournament series that I had a chance to drill. And honestly, I see a spot for all 6 balls in the bag. Maybe not all at the same time, but they all definitely offer a level of control that not necessarily every piece in the line does. So the big thing for the more the tournament style balls is you want the bad shots to be able to get 9 or 8 and not really split. So I'll go ahead and move another one left here. Let's try to throw a good shot. Man. That wasn't too bad. That one definitely seeing all the friction for sure.
So mine is drilled 4 1/4 by 3 1/2 by 2 1/4. And again, I know we keep talking about how much friction's out here right now, but as you can see, even when it does make its transition off the friction, it's not jerky. It's pretty forward, pretty round. Honestly, maybe in a tournament at this point, this could be a ball that I would go left and kind of use it to stop. So I want another. That's 5 and 2 off the last couple.
All right, let's see if I can just get more than one decent shot in a row off here. I'll go another 2 and 1. It's gonna be interesting shooting this Ion Max Pro video after this because
Well, it's got a weaker cover, so we have hope.
yeah.
All right, so now I've shown you all I can strike with that. I'm going to pull out the Tour Dynamics, which, again, like I said, I was going to kind of throw the Ion Pro Solid and Gremlin, original Gremlin, and I grabbed the wrong bag. So this is pretty much probably in the Roto Grip line. This is I've been excited because I think the Gremlin Tour will kind of be a replacement for the Tour Dynamics, which has been a staple in my bag for a couple seasons now. This is my 3rd one, all with the same layout. I just been as they die, drill new ones. This is pinned down. So this is more in that 4 1/2 by 4 1/2 by 4 range. Pretty close.
Fairly close.
Might have found my replacement. All right.
So for my first comparison, I just brought the original Gremlin. So like we said before, bigger core in this one, cleaner cover. So you're definitely going to see this one scoot through it a little bit easier, and it's definitely going to be more responsive down lane. I personally wasn't the biggest fan of the original Gremlin, but I know a lot of guys that were. So I'll go ahead where I finished the Gremlin Tour and 4-pinned on that last shot. So that for me definitely got through there a little bit.
Yep, much
a little bit cleaner and definitely quicker. I think for how they're playing now, that would definitely roll a little better for me than the Gremlin Tour.
Yeah.
Got probably 17 and a half games on this lane at this point, but
yeah. So I won a tournament a couple weeks ago, and when I got the match play, the Gremlin was the workhorse. I've liked mine a lot. So, but again, I think they're two completely different pieces. Actually, interested to see what this will do on a fresh house shot. Find out tonight.
wow, Patrick Dombrowski right there, trip 4.
Need more of those hits on the weekend. Might be able to get something done.
So I'm looking at both of these now, and it looks like the original Gremlin has about double the flare of what the Gremlin Tour does, which makes sense. Go ahead and go back to the Gremlin Tour here. Go back to the same spot again, and just try to get it through the middle there. There you go. That's better.
So I like to tell you the original Gremlin, I think, is one of the more unique pieces that's come out in the last season. It's got a very, very clean cover on it, kind of on the weaker medium side. It's not completely weak. It's definitely not strong. I would call it medium weak on the cover. But the core does the work of helping it get up through the back of the lane. So I think two different pieces that actually are going to complement each other on opposite ends of the spectrum, really.
Yeah, no, for sure. I can see the guys kind of trapping them a little bit earlier on with the Gremlin Tour X, and then when you finally see in the front part of the lane, kind of bailing down lanes, there's not quite enough diff, a little too much cover. I guess you jumping right into the Gremlin and moving a couple left and having it scoot through there a lot easier. So appreciate you guys tuning in. At this point, Gremlin Tour is available for purchase from any Storm VIP Pro Shop, so go ahead and stop down and grab your own today.